Let's talk about the cheating drama. Okay, so there's this VTuber called Mia May Really, but I think they just deleted their accounts actually as of yesterday. Because look, it's not hyperlinked anymore. Did they untag themselves? Yeah, they deleted their account. Okay, wow. So Mia May Really, actually kind of a big VTuber. I think they had like 40K on Twitter. Okay, so Miwa may really, it's also like it's a male using a female avatar, you know, a Babiniku. Due to unforeseen circumstance, VExpo decided that they'll no longer be appearing as guests at VExpo this year. We apologize to this rock star. We were looking forward to seeing him in September's and for any inconvenience this has caused. So VExpo canceled this. Okay, so first he gets canceled from VExpo. Then this person, this VTuber called Megu Moo, a Void Monster Girl. So she's a girl that was dating Megu, and she comes out with her own document saying, many people have been questioning what's happening, so I decided to write it down and share it for the sake of clarity and hopefully my own peace of mind going forward. There's this, so there's Mia, who's dating Megu, and Mia is 41 years old, no, 40 years old. She's also 40 years old. They met when they were very young, and this story is, like, the entire thing is a mess. Okay, I have the right one now. So she says, a few words about my situation with Mia May Really, since he hasn't been forthcoming with information, I'm gradually seeing more misinformation on the situation. I met Mia when I was 17 years old. I'm now 39. We bought a house and have lived together since 2015. The breakup for me was very out of the blue. We weren't without our troubles. We both had our faults. Neither of us were perfect, and I don't intend to sit there pretending I am. I knew a lack of intimacy on my part and me being unemployed did put a strain on things for Mia, but from my point of view, he would just mention it as an offhand remark once in a blue moon, but he always reassured me that he still loved me. So on the whole, I thought we were okay. I knew Mia was struggling to show or voice his thoughts and feelings over the years. I generally tried to reassure him that it was okay for him to be vulnerable with me. When he first told me he was breaking up with me, he just said that we had grown and changed too much as people. Then at this point, she asked if he's been with somebody else. He says no. She tries to see if she can salvage things because he's in her entire world after all. But on the third talk, it became abundantly clear that he was too far gone. But on the third talk, he started opening more about the situation. And it basically amounted to her being too depressed and too unemployed for too long and also not as well enough. And he had been feeling this way for a couple of years now. He goes more in depth about this part in his response. He never seriously communicated that to me, she says, but he says something entirely different. And it was driving as much as a wedge between us as it evidently was. He just mentioned it occasionally, reassured me it was fine, and we went about our days. So she says that she was unemployed and depressed following 2 consecutive mental breakdowns. She had 2 different jobs. He knew this. I was always very open with him about my struggles. At the time, I didn't know why I struggled so much with the things I did, but now I'm on the waiting list for ADHD assessment and highly suspecting I have autism, which I plan to pursue professionally after dealing with the ADHD assessment. Anyway, for a long time in the relationship, they would frequently have S. Personally, I wasn't ever super interested in S, but I did it to make him happy because I knew that's just what couples do. Later, she started having pain and bleeding during P, which got to a point where I couldn't force myself to keep it doing anymore, she says, because it was so painful. They went to the doctor with it. Mia was at the appointment with her. He knows she tried seeking help, but it became physically painful for her. So it reached a point where she just stopped forcing herself to do something painful for his benefit, and plus it didn't seem like she didn't really enjoy it. She also eventually realized that she was asexual because she literally had no interest in at all, and later on again when she realized she might be neurodivergent. So again, on the third talk, they started talking a little bit more. And then he reiterated to her that he hadn't cheated on her, there was no other person. But later in the same talk, he asked her, what would you do if you heard me F someone else? So she says this threw her out of the loop. Why on earth would he ever say that? So we decided we would still live together for the time being. I consider the splits sad but amicable. So she did a life update stream to inform her community since Mia was often mentioned by her and people wanted to know if they had to avoid any awkward moments or speaking like they were still together. After said stream, she checks her emails because she was so eagerly awaiting a commission delivery, and she receives an email from someone who contacted her because her Twitter DMs were closed. This person informed her that they had seen Mia's tweets about the breakup, but she reached out because Mia had been sending her explicit images of himself and even suggesting they hook up the next time he was in London for business. So she'll not be naming the individual, but he always assured her he would never cheat on her. So when she voiced her insecurities to him about how he talked to other women, VTubers, she says she had several mutual friends that were cheating on, so he knew this was such a big deal for her, a big issue. So she didn't believe it could be true at first, and she knows that chat logs can be faked. But then, there was also photo evidence, and he had sent this other woman pictures of his dick with belongings that I recognized from our house in the frame. I thought she was gonna say, which I recognized. Like, I thought she was gonna say, oh, I can recognize this anywhere. She's been with this guy for 20 years. But no, I guess she recognized the belonging in the house. So I guess she sent a pic to this other person. I never understood people who sent genital pics. Is there anything like that's not beautiful? Like, that's not inspirational. Like, does it ever, like, do you ever open that and get like horny? Like, oh, I would totally get some of this. No. That has it ever worked on anybody? That's what I want to know. Rima here asking the right questions. But anyway, moving on. So she calls her mom. She moves out with her cat that same night. That night, Mia went around Discord attempting to talk to several of the close friends that they have in common. He was fishing for information, sympathy, telling them how she was suddenly gone and saying how he wasn't expecting her to be gone so soon, acting like he was a poor victim, even though he was the sole person to initiate the breakup to begin with. Earlier in the relationship, for context, they tried to have, a conversation where he brought in the suggestion that they could become a poly couple because she didn't want to have sex with him anymore and he has needs. And she shut it down. So apparently, when he was going around talking to her friends, he kept asking people in poly relationship how they made it work because he tried hinting to Megu, but she just shoots it down. Which is kind of a funny TMI detail, a little lore drop. So anyway, Megu finds out about Mia's cheating and lying coming to light. It hurts her a lot. It hurts, their mutual friends. But she also since found out that he had also been gooning to another VTuber, buying her gifts, making deals to do things if he got to kiss her, offering how he'd let her live with him if I wasn't around, and hurtful things like that, she writes here. And she also writes, he made a Discord announcement about the breakup and told everyone it was the hardest decision we've had to make. And she says it was never we, it was all him. He made a tweet too, which he has since deleted, but again, he made it look like it was a peaceful and amicable. It was not. When he knew that I found out, he came around to my mom's house asking to speak to me. I didn't want to see him, and my mom talked to him and got rid of him, but he was crying and swearing that it was only one time, but we already knew this wasn't true. So he told us that he was going to take a year away from everything to sort his life out. He's been back multiple times since then to go on Discord and Twitter to post things, remove mod status from everyone, question mark? I don't get why he removed mod status. And following friends on Twitter and locking his account when his most recent pity post didn't get the traction he wanted and things like that. Actually, in hindsight, maybe he removed mod status from her because he doesn't trust her anymore. But so he told one of his friends that he was getting help from Samaritans and they told him to cut contact with people he had relationships or flirting with, yet I know he contacted at least one person he was flirting with since then. I've always been curious about trying a poly relationship, but I'm really bad at board games. Well, if you're bad at managing different things is probably not for you. So, I mean, it's shitty, very shitty, but it's a very personal thing to share online. It's a choice for sure from Megu. I feel like there was a lot of very personal information in there, a lot of TMI, but TLDR is that Mia is a popular British VTuber who suddenly announced a hiatus, and later it was revealed that he cheated on his 22-year-old relationship. So it seems like he's the one that's, I feel like he's the one that canceled his V-Expo appearance because of the hiatus, because he had a feeling that this would come out. And apparently now it's found out that the person he cheated on was 19 while he's 41. And obviously it's not illegal. It's just weird because, I mean, it just shows how immature he is. He does clarify that he is actually 40, which doesn't change much, TBH. But it's like, what do you have in common with a 19 years old? Like, what could you guys possibly have to say to each other? And so this all became a very public, private conversation. Yeah, it definitely is weird. There's been some old tweets of him like saying that he's 40. So he is open about it. There's some other comment cheating is just about the most subhuman behavior, but there's something just plain sinister about throwing away a very long-term relationship and all the work you did getting to be a bigger VTuber for someone over 20 years younger than you. Also, Mia's manager has stopped representing him. I'm not Mia's manager anymore. We split ways right when everything started to go down. I'm not affiliated with Mia, nor do I support the actions that were done. That's all I have to say. Let me anime post in peace. So then he does his response, which we'll go over. Yeah, it's a massive gap, and the earliest a gap could be. That is true. I am not 40, you fucking asshole. Ban that guy. Mods, ban him. Jared Wolf in chat. He's the culprit. It's him. He did the crime, officer. Okay, so his response, also super messy stuff, also goes into a lot of details. And I feel like this situation is not like super black and white. Obviously, he fucked up way more than her. And he's like gross and weird and creepy. I could add that. But they weren't in a good relationship. I don't think they were. Protect Gerard. Wall. Make a wall around him. I think Cataclysm, as you grow older, the age gaps matter less too. Because, you know, your personality sets in and all of that. I mean, it just matters less. I feel like I don't have to explain that. Yeah, I think everybody can agree with that. I met Megu when I was 18 years old. I'm now 40. So this is his side of the story. They bought a house together and have lived together since 2015. But Megu stopped paying her side of the mortgage in 2020, and I have been the sole provider since then. That wasn't a problem because every couple, we had our ups and downs. We had what would be called a normie couple life. By no means we were perfect, but we always had each other until we didn't. I knew I couldn't be sinking into debt. I knew I wasn't happy in a relationship without intimacy of any kind, but I still loved her. She had some troubles at work before, and she spiraled into depression. So I was there to support her. I never thought of leaving her at that moment. She was having a rough time, depressed, panicking. So if she's sad and struggling, she can take a break. I told her I could support us for 1 year, and that she could take a break, work on herself, and go back stronger than ever. S was the least of my worries. If she can't do it now, she can't. But 1 year turned into 6 years. When things were getting rough with our income and I asked her to get a job, she would cry and I would comfort her. Like, bro, that's also crazy. Crying because somebody tells you that you gotta get a job. Like, sexually frustrated when he could have fixed that by sexually interacting with the woman he was with for 22 years. Silly males. No, but he couldn't actually, because she wouldn't have sex with him. But he could have just broken up with her and then found somebody he could. I mean, job applications are freaking scary. True. So anyway, he comforts her. He encouraged her to pursue her streaming more and more and even do more art and hope she could make a professional job out of them. These were turned down too. So all of his suggestions are turned down. Over the course of these 6 years, he had accrued a debt of over 25,000 pounds, so we could have a roof over our head. Some of these debts were also from her past before we got the house, as I wanted to help the one I love. So when I would ask her to get her physical issues checked down there, she went once, even if I had told her to go see another doctor. It was not about S, but it was about health issues. Something that was okay before was suddenly not okay. And being real, yes, I missed the intimacy with her. I loved her. I wanted to hug my partner, to cuddle, to feel her in ways no one could. Even just have physical affection without P. I even talked about a poly relationship if that would work and was shut down very quickly. So I didn't feel loved, supported, or wanted. But all of that fell apart when asking to provide more of that in our relationship. And then she apparently would say that she was gonna herself instead of trying. Yeah, this whole doc is the biggest TMI. So she also seems to be the kind to, be like, I'm gonna krill myself if you ask me to get a job, or according to him, to participate in more intimacy or love or support. So he's like, how can I leave for something as mundane as S when she would constantly remind me she was going to take her own life if I ever left? I felt powerless. I felt like I had to stay even if it was treating me inside for her sake. Again, this is a he says, she says situation, although we have proof of his... Well, there's more concrete proof of the cheating. But like, this is his words against hers for this part. Yeah, he should have just broken up. He says he feels guilty about breaking up because she said she was gonna krill herself. I don't know if they even aborted that topic, because in her document, she says that this conversation kind of came out of nowhere. That, like, he never properly communicated those issues with her. He's saying the opposite. He's saying he tried and was shut down every single time. So who knows who's telling the truth here? It seems like both of them have a part to play in this relationship unraveling, but he obviously went too far. She allegedly also told him that she would have nowhere to live if I left her. So the 3 months happened like it was a nightmare. My mother passed away from lung cancer. I've never felt so many dark thoughts in my life at the same time. I didn't have time to mourn my mother because emotionally I had to keep us afloat. I was the pillar of our relationship, so I couldn't be weak. I had to keep going for the sake of both of us, so I shouldered it. I found myself saying, and I shouldn't have. People keep having some kind of weird narratives about this, so I'm going to answer directly. It was consented between the both of us, consent from the sisters. I will not be posting proof, as regardless of everything, I want to keep their privacy safe. There were 3 people involved that I sexted on the same dates during those 3 months. Damn, bro got busy. He was using the low XP Riz strats. So the 4th being someone I said I had a crush on, but was a compliment rather than for the engagement of a relationship. I call most of my friends beautiful/handsome. One of them, as mentioned by Megu, I did meet and we did kiss once while I was with my partner. So it wasn't just like e-dating. He actually met one of them and they kissed. There seems to be a narrative that I knowingly hooked up with a 19-year-old when I was 41. I'm 40, he says. I didn't. I'm open about my age on social media, and they're open about being an adult content creator. We engage as 2 adults. I wasn't aware that she was 19, but I was aware she was doing adult content for a long while. Wait, how long of a while? If she's 19 and she was doing adult content for a long while? Monka S? What does that mean exactly? Yeah, pause. So he says, so he assumed she was way older. As she consented and was very encouraging with our conversations. After her, we both discussed and agreed this was not the right thing to do. I apologized and the apology was accepted and we moved on. The hookup in London was part of one RP session. We were thing I never did, and I wasn't planning to do this. Officers right here. Regarding my community mods in Discord, there was some shit going on with the mods. I didn't get all of that, but people and his viewers felt like they were being exploited. I found myself a grown-ass man crying, holding my phone, about to do something stupid. I called a suicide hotline to talk to someone about my thoughts and seek help. I got stopped from it thanks to my dad and my brother. They picked me up at 1 a.m. and looked after me for the rest of the night and thanked everyone who's been there regardless. What was the RP? That is the real question here. He doesn't tell us what was the RP. But after this came out, I'm reading this, I'm like, man, the girl also kind of has her faults, like, but to be fair, he should have just left the relationship. It's kind of like the answer to all of that. dude, it must be difficult. You kind of sympathize with him a little bit because you're like, it must be really difficult to shoulder the entire financial burden being with somebody who's depressed, being with somebody that refuses to get a job, that like starts crying every time you mention that you need help financially to pay for the houses, getting into debt because of somebody else, not, you know, having intimacy or like doing all the any of the regular couple things. But then he does the cheating and the creepy pics and the tributes, and then I read this tweet from Queenfire and I was like, okay, never mind. Fellas and ladies, if she says she will krill herself or cries when told to get a job to help with finances, run. Yeah, true. The self-deletion thing is true. It's not so simple to just leave because the potential guilt as they go through with it is it's not a risk many people want to take, yeah. But then you could also argue that him doing all of that will also push her deeper into depression, so it's not helping anybody. Oh, that's you, Queenfire. Wait, so Queenfire, are you the 19-year-old or are you somebody else that he tried to engage with? Yeah, the whole situation sucks. Let's read Queenfire's tweet. So she says, okay, my side. He flirted with me first, called me sexy, called my VTuber sexy. I'm a flirt, this is just me. Anyone from my streams will know I do flirt, I find it funny, till it's not anymore. He used to say how woolly frustrated he was, and I was like, oh, that sucks. I like the reaction here. Oh, that sucks, buddy. But she says here that she actually never initiated anything from my side, it was all him. And that's why I asked her if she's the 19-year-old, because he claims here that that person was very encouraging in their exchange. So is he lying? That's rough, buddy. Oh, you're not 19. You're another one. You're 26. Okay. So you are not the person he mentions here. Okay, so this is somebody else. Did he count you into one of those? The three during 4 months? I wish I was idea based. Oh, you're the crush. Oh shit. Okay, the plot thickens. Okay, thank you. We're piecing things together live on stream right now. Thank you for this. All right. So let's continue on reading Queenfire's tweet. You're the person he kissed. Okay. So he used to say how, oh yeah, I remember you do say that in your tweet. I'm stupid. Okay, where were we? Oh, that sucks. I never initiated anything from my side. It was all him. But this part of the Google Doc is about me. Yes, we kissed. Ah, it says right there. I should have just kept on reading. I felt immense pressure and empathy to help him feel a little sexy, but I never found him actually sexy. I used to say handsome because it made him feel good. That's kind of sad, not gonna lie. I like making my friends feel good. We kissed twice. Once before they broke up in his house. Basically, as I was leaving. Wait, in his house? Basically, as I was leaving because I didn't want it to go further. I've been down that horrid road before, and once after I met up with him in a park to make sure he was okay, he asked us my partners plural was coming to pick me up, and again I felt pressure. Yeah, we need a picture board with thumbtacks and strings. Now, me and my partner have spoken about all of this before it happened, so on my part, I didn't cheat. He knows everything, and he's seen everything that Mia has sent me, the explicit pictures, the Gooner response to my art, he's seen all of it. Alright, so Queenfire's partner was consenting, but Mia was the one being like sneaky about it and going behind his partner's back. Mia just kept lying and lying. Mia asked me many times if I'd go over to his house while Megu is out. I said no a lot. Not only because I'm a busy person, but also because I was scared. He said he had a crush on me. He said I was his best friend. He gave me a friendship bracelet and it broke instantly upon him giving it to me. Ooh, was that foreshadowing? He kept telling me lies, even to my face. All I ever wanted to do was help someone I knew was and stressed. I'm sorry if seeing this hurts to see, but I need to be honest. Please forgive me as I felt pressured. That terrifies me. A partner saying stuff like, oh, you're handsome, you're sexy, but not meaning it at all. Well, you need to find somebody that is not nice, usually, as a baseline. You need to find somebody that's bitchy, because when they give you a compliment, you'll know it's real. Somebody that just the mere thought of giving somebody a compliment it just rattles them. Like you're just like, fine, I'll compliment you. So they need to mean it. I'm kind of like that. I don't give free compliments. I only give compliments I mean, or I can't. It's just I physically recoil. And then this is the part that's on my thumbnail. Also, I want to add, I had respect for him because he was partner. This all changed after he did contributes for me. I lost all respect for him, and he went from partner friends to another gooner. Not gonna lie, that's crazy and disgusting. I know, I can't think of anything funnier than a friendship bracelet immediately breaking. That's like super peak. Rima only gives compliments. That is disgusting. I told you guys, there's no way anybody is into that. You guys are trying to sell me on the whole big thing that some girls are into it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You guys would like it if a girl, sent you a close-up shot of her coochie? No. No. He sent her a CUM tribute. Brother, ew. Ew. I thought people did that on like Gojo pictures to be ironic or some shit. Not for real. Like, not for real. Like, I didn't think people actually did that. I know, friendship bracelet, he's stuck dating in the 2000s. Yeah, 41 sending tributes to girls. That's certainly a choice. Bedazzled Valentine's, stop. Stop. What do you guys think of this situation? Grown-ass men giving friendship bracelets and calling young girls besties. This one was 26, but he also engaged, flirted with, sexted with a 19-year-old. Call it a CD gift. Ew! 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 We can't stop you. You made the title, Rima. My title is quite demonic, I won't lie. Look. We're more shocked about this than the age gap. The age gap matters less. It just showcases how immature and weird he is. But this is like 10 times weirder, bro. Yes, yeah, not everybody should have access to the internet. Oh god. But yeah, that's all I have for it. On it for now. Maybe there's more tweets on it, but this was the interesting part. And since you guys are already asking me for TLDRs of the highlight, it's best that I keep this short. Hey, you, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I'll see you in the next video.